Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever really stopped to think about how a tiny, completely dependent baby turns into, well, us, into a complex, thinking, feeling adult? I mean, it's one of the most incredible journeys any of us will ever take. It literally shapes everything about who we are. So how in the world does that happen?
That is the fundamental question, right? It's at the very heart of psychology, of education, of our own life stories. And it's so much more than just getting taller. It's about this incredibly complex process of becoming a person. To even begin to get our heads around it, we've got to look through a very specific lens.
And that lens is educational psychology. Think of it like a map for this whole journey. It helps describe and explain all those experiences that mold us along the way. So today, we're going to use this map to explore two of the most critical, most formative periods in anyone's life: childhood and adolescence. Let's start right at the beginning.
Okay, so our journey starts in the world of the child. That first decade of life, it's just a period of absolutely explosive growth. This is where the literal foundations of our personality, our smarts, and our social skills are poured and set, like concrete. So from birth to around age 8, a kid is just this whirlwind of development. I mean, the physical changes alone are astonishing. We're talking doubling in height, maybe quadrupling in weight by age 3. But as incredible as that is, what's happening inside their mind it's even more revolutionary.
The psychologist Jean Piaget gave us this brilliant framework for how this all unfolds. So first, you've got babies. They're basically little scientists, learning about the world through their senses, touching, tasting, seeing everything. Then, as toddlers, something amazing happens. They figure out that symbols, words and pictures, can actually stand for real things. That's a huge leap. And finally, they get to this stage where their thinking gets way more organized and logical, but it's still very much tied to the concrete, physical world they can actually see and touch.
And what's really interesting is the critical shift that happens here. See, early childhood is all about me, my skills, my needs, my world. But then, as kids move into middle childhood, the focus just completely expands to us. It's all about how do I fit in with my friends, with my community. And this social awakening, well, it sets the stage for the next great leap.
So this growing social awareness, this focus on us, it builds directly into one of the most talked about, and let's be honest, often misunderstood phases of life: adolescence.
Yeah, Stanley Hall, one of the pioneers in this field, he captured the intensity of this time just perfectly. Storm and strife. It really is a transition where everything feels like it's changing all at once. But to really get what this storm is all about, we need to be super clear on what's actually changing. And that means we got to distinguish between two very important terms.
And honestly, this distinction is everything. See, we tend to think of the teenage years as just one big physical growth spurt, right? But that's only a tiny piece of the puzzle. The real story is about development, this massive fundamental change in the quality and complexity of, well, everything. So let's break down what that leap actually looks like.
Okay, so the physical changes are the most obvious ones, right? The stuff we all notice. You've got adolescents trying to navigate a body that feels like it's remaking itself overnight. We're talking about those rapid changes in height, the maturing of sex organs, and all those secondary sex characteristics kicking in.
But mentally, the change is just as profound. Their intelligence is often hitting its peak, and for the very first time, they can really sink their teeth into abstract ideas like justice or philosophy or the meaning of life. Their problem-solving skills and their ability to think logically just take this huge leap forward. Socially, their whole world just kind of tilts on its axis. The main source of influence really shifts from family over to their friends. I mean, this is the training ground, right? It's where they practice for adult relationships, try on different social roles, and start to carve out an identity that's truly separate from their parents.
And then, of course, there's the emotional side of things. We're talking major turbulence. Emotions get way more complex, and they're felt with this incredible, sometimes overwhelming intensity and passion. It really can feel like a storm inside. So, with all this change happening everywhere you look, what's the actual point? What's the goal of these life stages?
Well, one way to think about it is like a series of goals, or maybe tasks that need to be accomplished to move on successfully. It's kind of like a job description for growing up. And the educator Robert Havinghurst, he's the one who really outlined these for us.
Basically, these developmental tasks are like a universal checklist for growing up. They're the essential skills, the knowledge, the attitudes that you really have to acquire to be a happy, successful person in your society. So, what's on the to-do list for a child?
You can see it right here. It's the absolute fundamentals. Learning to walk, to talk, getting the hang of reading, writing, and math.
It's about building a conscience, a sense of right and wrong, and just generally achieving some personal independence. It's the bedrock. Okay, now let's look at the checklist for a teenager. Whoa, see how the tasks here get way more abstract, more future-focused? Now it's about achieving mature relationships, accepting your body, gaining emotional independence from your parents. It's about preparing for a career and figuring out a personal set of values to live by. The whole game is about building a solid adult identity. Which brings us to the most important question of all. Why does any of this matter? Why should we care?
Because understanding this whole journey, it's not just some academic exercise. It's a really practical tool that can completely change how we interact with the kids and teenagers in our lives.
And here's the key insight. When we know what developmental job a kid or a teen is working on, all that sometimes confusing, puzzling behavior, it starts to make sense. That storm and strife we talked about, it's not random chaos, it's the hard, necessary work of growing up.
This knowledge really elevates us. We go from being just confused bystanders to being effective guides. It doesn't matter if you're a teacher trying to tailor a lesson, a parent trying to offer the right support, or even just someone trying to make sense of your own story. This framework gives us the power to actually nurture healthy development.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. When we understand this map of human development, it's not just about appreciating someone else's journey. It helps us gain a much deeper understanding of the path that made us who we are today. By looking back at your own journey, what can you learn about the person you've become?